back everyone to the For You Kids Club. So, if you remember back to last week, we were talking about Jacob and Esau. So, in case you missed it, quick recap. Jacob and Esau were twins. They were different. Jacob tricked Esau. Esau sold his birthright for stew. Later, Esau wanted his blessing. Rebekah helped Jacob trick his dad, Isaac. Jacob got Esau's blessing. Esau was furious. Jacob ran away, but God still blessed him. And that is God's story. Do you remember? Jacob tricked his father and got the blessing that Esau was meant to get. So Esau got really, really mad, and he was gonna do horrible things. So he got really mad at his brother. So Jacob was like, "Oh no, I need to run away." So that's where we're going to pick up our story today, and our story goes like this. So when Jacob found out that his brother Esau was planning to kill him in revenge for deceiving him out of his father's blessing, his mother suggested he fled to stay with her brother Laban. Now Isaac blessed Jacob before he left, and he told him not to marry a Canaanite woman, but to instead find a wife from the daughters of Laban, the same place that his mother had come from. So Jacob set off on his long journey north to Haran, where the Laban people and his family lived. On his travels, he stopped for the night, because the sun had set. Taking a large stone, he put it under his head, and he lay down to have a sleep. In his dream, he saw a stairway resting on the earth, with its top reaching to heaven, and the angels of God were climbing up and down, and they stood by the Lord. The Lord stepped forward and said, "I am the Lord, the God of Abraham and Isaac. I will give you and your descendants the land on which you are lying. Your descendants will be like the dust of the earth, and you will spread out in every direction. Everyone on earth will be blessed through you and your offspring. I am with you and will watch over you wherever you go, and I will bring you back to this land. I will not leave you until I have done what I have promised." When Jacob woke up, he thought, "The Lord is in this place, and I was not even aware of it." He was afraid, and he said, "How awesome is this place! This is none other than the house of God. This must be the gate of heaven." Early the next morning, Jacob took the stone he had placed under his head, and he set it up as a pillar and poured oil on it. He did this so that he could remember where he had been, and he called that place Bethel, which means house of God. Jacob made a vow, saying, "If God will be with me, protect me, and provide food to eat and clothes to wear, so that I can return safely to my father's household, then the Lord will be my God." Jacob declared, "This stone that I have set upon as a pillar will be God's house, and of all that you give me, I will give you a tenth." Jacob then sent off again on his journey to Haran to stay with his mother's brother Laban. So what do you think of that story? Maybe pause the video now and you can have a little discussion about Jacob's dream, and then we're going to have a little chat about it. So what did you think of the story? How do you think Jacob felt in that story? Because at first, when Jacob wakes up from his sleep, he feels afraid. The vision that he's seen of this ladder and the angels and God, it's all too much. It frightens him. But then he has another feeling that Jacob shows at the end of the story, and that is gratitude. Jacob speaks of how he needs God to go with him, and he needs God's help to provide for him. And he promises that whatever God gives him, that he will give an offering of a tenth of it back to God. So, what are some of the ways you give back to God? We've been talking about how we can always rely on God when things are tricky, on how we can put our faith in God. But Jacob shows here that when God provides, we need to make sure that it's give and take. We give something back. So when we recognize the goodness of God in our lives, we want to respond and give back to God. And we can do that through offerings, we can do that through worship, we can do that by giving our time and through service. So what are some of the things that you might be able to do to give back to God? Maybe have a think, have a look. What could you do? Could it be calling that friend? Could it be telling them that you've been watching church videos? Could it be just asking how they're doing and making sure they're okay? Could it be spending some time just alone and praying to God? Could it be instead of buying those extra sweets or eating those extra sweets, you give it away? Have a think this week. What are the opportunities for you to do something for God? To thank Him for everything that He's done for you. So our activity this week is an active activity, not a craft one, although we do have some craft activities in our expansion pack. So do go onto the website, the 4U team website, to check out the expansion pack. So the ladder that Jacob saw went right up to heaven and God. And there are so many things that we can do to draw God closer to ourselves. So I challenge you to take on my ladder challenge and see if you can complete all of these activities together as a family this week. So what I recommend is that you write out the activities that you're going to do and you put them on your ladder. So you can do a ladder like this, or you can draw out a ladder with your own activities. So first thing on my ladder is to learn a memory verse. So I'm going to get on my ladder and learn my memory verse. Psalm 139 verse 5. You are all around me, in front and in back, and have put your hand on me. You are all around me, in front, in back, and have put your hand on me. You are all around me, in front, in back, and put your hand on me. You are all around me, in front, in back, and put your hand on me. I think I've got it. Right, next thing on my list. Going to do some worship. Going to need a guitar. Just got to get up the ladder. Okay, what's next on the list? Next thing to do is pray and listen. Dear God, I pray that you will use this time to help us draw closer to you and appreciate more and more the things that you do for us. Amen. So what's next on my list? Reading my Bible. Okay, I'm going to get Bible. And actually, the last thing that was on my list is to just wait on God. And I don't think I can do that on a ladder, because that ladder is a bit uncomfortable. So I'm going to go away now and find a quiet space, keep reading my Bible, and just wait and listen to God. It's a really good thing to do, to just chill out and spend time with God. I hope you've enjoyed this week. See you next time.